Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today it is time for a 2023 update to one of my most popular, most requested lists I release every year. And today we are talking the best fifth pocket knives of all time. Small knives that I love, and that's the only stipulation in this video. Is they have to fit in your fifth pocket. Now, granted, some fifth pockets are smaller than others, so I used a pair of Wranglers for context, so they have it's a decent-sized fifth pocket knife, but you'll see, any of the knives in this video fits in that fifth pocket and are truly just some of the best small knives you can get, knives that I love, and that's that. There's no price stipulation. You're going to see some that are really expensive. You're going to see some that are very affordable. I'll cover the pricing as much as I can, but of course, there will also be links below for every one of the knives you see here, as long as they're available and I can find some links. And I think most of these should be available. Most, if not all, actually. So that's it. We have a top 10, but then I also have 4 honorable mentions that I wanted to throw in because they're not in my top 10, but I still really, really love them, and I wanted to get them on here. So let's start with our first honorable mention, and it's this guy, the Microtech Exocet. Now, this is one that could maybe be questionable by some, because some would say it's a money clip, it's not a fifth pocket knife, but again, this fits in the fifth pocket. So yeah, so it can be on this list. And I love this knife. The actuator is so smooth, and this right here is very, very fun, very fidgety, a super, super thin blade stock. Usually double-edged daggers don't have good cutting geometry. This one is an exception to the rule, guys. You may not have a really long blade, but what you have is a nice, thin, and very, very slicey little blade here from Microtech. This guy is coming in, and I believe we're looking at probably, I think, $250. I think I paid $250 this when it came out, and that was like maybe 2 years ago, if not more. So I don't know what these are at now, if there's been price increases, but you can use it as a money clip. So actually, you could use it as a money clip and stick that in your fifth pocket. You know, there's a lot of ways you could carry this knife, but it is small. It's very, very good, and it really is. Kind of crazy to say it, but I think it might be one of my favorite Microtechs. It's just really different, really fun, really, really enjoyable. The Microtech Exocet with the first honorable mention for best fifth pocket knives. And then we got this guy right here. It's a classic. It's the CRKT Pilar. And a lot of people might be really shocked that I have it this low on the list, because it could very, very easily be in the top 5 for some, if not their favorite, because it has a lot of good things going for it. It's very affordable. You can get a knife. You can get this Pilar for, I think, like 25 bucks, 20 bucks. It's crazy, crazy low, maybe $27. The scale I got for it was aftermarket, but you can get it with just a stainless steel scale. And yeah, it's an excellent, excellent knife. Great ergos. The middle finger flicking action is really pretty good on this. And of course you can slow roll it. But it's a Jesper Voxness design, so really it's the ergos that really make this knife amazing for me. Like, these ergos are just phenomenal. The knife melts and just becomes part of your hand. Excellent little blade, just very much on the budgety side. Still waiting for CRKT to bring back the premium edition. At one point they made a premium edition of this with like M390, and yeah, sold out, and they never made any more. So I don't know why, but CRKT, once again, I'm asking you, please make a premium Pilar so I can buy one. But that's that. That is the CRKT Pilar with a honorable mention. And this one here came out this year. This is the Bestech Bihai, and this thing is really, really fun. First of all, it's designed by Ostap, and it also has, excuse me, also has very nice ergos. The reason this one didn't make the top 10 is just functionality. The hawkbill blade is really cool. It's great for actually a lot of tasks that you would need a small knife for, just like opening packages or letters or whatnot. But you really do kind of lose some of the versatility of it. And that's really the only reason this is not in the top 10. If this was like a sheep's foot blade, it would probably be in the top 3, because this right here, this stair-step fine milling, jimping, and not even jimping, stair-step milling that you have on the inset liner lock of this knife is just a thing of beauty, and it is so easy and so good to do the reach around on. And you can middle finger flick it. So it has some really good fidgety elements to it. Really nice for the front flip, and just a really, really good looking blade. I mean, come on, get out of here. This thing is like, I think like 50 bucks, 55 bucks. So no issue at all on the price there. I think it's got D2 steel. Oh no, 14C 28N steel. So yeah, this is definitely one. If you don't mind the Hawkbill blade, I would highly recommend checking this one out. The only reason it's not in my top 10 is because of that blade shape. It just loses a little functionality for me, and it's not nearly as versatile as some of the other knives you'll see on this list, but still an amazing knife, and one that I think everyone who likes small knives really needs to know about, the Bestech Bihai. Now, the last honorable mention before we get into the top 10 is a knife that actually got bumped from the top 10, and this is the Kizer Cyberblade. Now, people can say what they want about this. You might say it's ugly, you might say some things, but I'm telling you, this knife is just stinking cool. At first, I thought it was kind of ugly myself, and I wasn't sure about it, but I still kept it. Like, I've had this now for like 4 years. And I still have it. I still love it. It's great. In terms of just a fifth pocket knife, it's really fun once you figure out how to middle finger flick it, because it is kind of tricky. You can, oh geez, there you go. You can do it, but it's really made more for the thumb stud here. And the thumb stud actually works really well too. But again, it's kind of an awkward position to deploy the blade. That's the one thing, another thing that kept it out of the top 10. But what this really excels with is a very functional blade. You basically have two tips here. This one here is just as good for opening packages, and this one here is good for kind of any digging or prying, and you can use this flat end here for scraping. And then of course you also have a decent little straight here for any kind of actual cuts you need to do with it. So it's a really cool knife. It's very unique. It even has a glass breaker on the end. All titanium, nice clip here. Frame lock is good, excellent lockup. As you can see, this has gotten some love. I mean, this has got some scrapes and uses on it, and it's just a really fun little knife. And now normally I would tell people don't get the titanium version, go with the micarta version, because the micarta version was like 80 bucks or $89. You can actually get this guy. I saw it on Amazon. As long as I can still find the link, it's still available. I'm pretty sure you can pick this up for like $79, the titanium version. And I believe that all titanium versions, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure, come with S35VN. So, I mean, 79 bucks for this knife, that's actually a really, really good deal, and a really cool knife. So, ergos are actually pretty decent on it. It's deploying the blade that makes it a little trickier, but the ergos are pretty solid. It feels pretty good in my hand. So really cool knife, very different, and one that I think I just like it more and more each year. So yeah, the Kizer Cyberblade, really cool little knife. And now we're getting into the top 10. You already saw one change of the Cyberblade getting bumped out, but there has been a huge, huge shakeup in this top 10. Probably the biggest change up of all the years I've made this video. So let's hop right into it and take a look at number 10. And number 10 is a knife that took quite a fall, the QSP Mini Penguin. Now, it didn't take a fall because it did anything wrong or it's not a good knife. It's obviously in the top 10. It's a great small knife. There was just 9 other knives that I like a little more than this one. But the QSP Penguin, the mini version here, really is just about everything you need for a good, solid fifth pocket knife. There's a lot of versions. I believe there's some real budgety versions. This one here is a Caviso exclusive. And Caviso actually has a good amount of different types of mini penguins, so they'd be worth checking out here. But yeah, titanium frame lock with S35VN, a milled clip, and yeah, just good ergos. It's a 3-finger knife, definitely not a 4-finger. I mean, you could choke up and make it a 4-finger grip, and really you could do that. I don't think there's any real risk there. You just, always pay attention and be aware when you're using your tools. But I would probably just use it like this. I mean, this is fine, but that also does feel pretty good. So hey, whatever you prefer here, this is going to be a really solid little fifth pocket carry for you. Really nice thumb stud action, and also some very nice middle finger flicking action. So it's a good one. It's just, I think I probably prefer the full-size Penguin a little more, but the Mini Penguin is still a great little fifth pocket knife. Really nice value, and again, that straight edge blade, that straight edge like sheep's footy Warncliffe blade is definitely one that excels very well when it comes to a small knife. The QSP Mini Penguin at number 10. And this one here, the Kizer Mini Sheepdog coming in at number 9. Now, the Mini Sheepdog, I actually omitted it off my last list for this because part of me kind of considers this a primary carry, but it fits in my 5th pocket knife. And I thought, you know what? I have carried this as a 5th pocket knife before, so I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to put it back in here. I'm slotting in at number 9. And especially this version. I love, love, love this button lock version. Super fidgety, really, really good, smooth button lock action. Middle finger flicking action is great. And the Mini Sheepdog just looks amazing. I mean, I love the design on this guy. Excellent quality and fit and finish from Kizer. The clip on the Sheepdog series in general, whether it be the Mini Sheepdog, the regular Sheepdog, or I believe even the full Sheepdog has this clip, or the actual XL Sheepdog. Just a phenomenal clip. Super deep carry, looks great, disappears in the hand. Just a phenomenal clip on a great little small knife. The Mini Sheepdog is a budget banger, especially for the 5th pocket realm. Really, really good offering from Kizer, and just a series in general, being the Sheepdog series that I just love. So had to put this on there. The Kizer Mini Sheepdog coming in at number 9. Number 8 is another classic. I'd call this an oldie but goodie. The Civivi Odium. Been around for a little while now. I want to say, what, 3 years? I think 3 years for the Odium. Really, really cool knife. There's a lot of options you can do here. Middle finger flick is great. You can just flip it. It flips really well. What's really nice about this thing is the ergos. This thing really, really, it's a ferrum forged design, so you know it's going to fit phenomenally well in the hand and just feel good and look good. Yeah, this is probably as big as a 5th pocket knife I would carry. And it's really just the handle. The handle's a little longer than, most people would probably prefer for a 5th pocket knife, but it does work, and it carries in the 5th pocket. You have, a little sticking out, but hey, that's really not that big of a deal. That's lovely. That is just lovely. Excellent middle finger flicking action. Really nice flipping action. Yeah, it's an excellent little budget knife, and one that even I forget how much I like it sometimes until I get it back in my pocket or in the hand. I'm like, man, where has this been? Why do I not carry it more? The Civivi Mini Odium coming in at number 8. I probably don't carry it as much because there's 7 other knives we're about to take a look at that are slightly more amazing in my opinion. And coming in at number 7, this one here took quite the fall. The CJRB Maileah. This is going to be shocking to some people. But the Maileah is still awesome. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted here. The Maileah is still great. CJRB in general has just done a phenomenal job with the small knives. We're going to see a couple more of those here in this list, as well as some other ones that just push the Maileah down. I used to think the ergos on the Maileah were as good as it gets for a 5th pocket knife. But man, oh man, within the past year or so since the Maileah has been released, there's been a huge uptick in knives with just phenomenal ergos for such small knives. But this still has the excellent front flipping action. It has the phenomenal thumb stud action, as well as the reverse flick is so nice and so easy on this. And this pocket clip is great. It makes all the deployment options very easy to do because you can just get really good leverage there when you're holding onto the clip and just pop that blade out. Really good looking knife. And you can get this like super cheap. I want to say this is like 35 bucks still. So excellent, excellent offering from CJRB, and I'm pretty sure it's still pretty easily available. So really, really nice offering. The CJRB Maileah coming in at number 7. Now number 6, we're going American made here, and we've got the Runt, the ProTech Runt. I love this knife. For an automatic, the way this thing kicks, it doesn't kick like a Runt, it kicks like an absolute mule. I mean, this thing flies out, and this right here, the curvature of the handle to just really get up close to the blade for draw cuts or any type of detailed cuts, this is it. This is probably as good as it gets for detailed cuts. It just feels so good in the hand. This version I actually picked up at Blade Show West last year, and man, oh man, Magna Cut steel. You can get these guys for, boy, I can't remember now. I want to say like 150 to 180 or 160. It really, 150 to 160 sounds right. But yeah, love the Runt. There's two different versions. There's actually a reverse Tonto version and then the sheep's foot version. The reverse Tonto may look a little better to some, but I love the sheep's foot version just to do this. Man, I really, really love that. It's so good. But yeah, the Runt is just phenomenal. And if you like automatics, ooh, man, oh man, does that kick like an absolute force. The ProTech Runt, one phenomenal little automatic and probably my favorite small automatic knife ever. Like, I love, love, love the Runt. And now we have cracked the top 5, and let's take a look. First knife in the top 5 is a very new one. It's, oh, I botched it. The CJRB Mica. Now, this one, I could have really easily put the Mica in the top 3. It's just so tight. From really even number 6 up to number 1 is so ridiculously tight for me. It was very, very hard to make this top 10 list because I really love these knives so much. The Mica, I think what really kind of knocked it down a little for me was just the fact that I think it might have been the thumb studs. They're not bad thumb studs, but the other knives you'll see they're just a little different. And the aluminum handles here, they can be a little slippery and the other ones aren't. So I think that's really all that set it apart. But in terms of ergonomics, oh my gosh, another one. This finger choil here, it's such a nice full finger choil for such a small knife. You have the nice little kind of beveling here and nice chamfering along the sides. It's super, super comfy in hand. It looks amazing. It's a very clean but simple drop point design. Nice button lock action, very, very smooth button lock action, and just a really enjoyable piece and a very affordable piece. I want to say this one is like $50, 45, $50, something like that. So yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be more versions of it. This one happens to be kind of like a OD green with kind of like a little copper brass, I'd probably say brass lanyard hole back there. So yeah, really, really nice offering from CJRB and a really, really good one. But there's actually one CJRB that's even a little better that we'll see here in a bit. But yeah, the Mica is coming in at number 5. Now, next up here at number 4, this guy right here, the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. This thing, I'm going to say it again because I don't think the Nightshade is appreciated enough in the knife community. I think a lot of people kind of get turned off by the looks of this thing, but this blade is a slicing beast. The forward angle of the blade helps it just get that little bit of extra aggressive cutting action. Really, really nice handle, super good in the hand. Got contoured carbon fiber. Excellent carbon fiber too with very nice finish on it. S35 VN. Now this version right here is only $99, which is incredible. This version also sells out very quick. I may not be able to find this one in stock. If there is, of course, there'll be a link for it below. I'll even include a link if it's not in stock so you guys can check if they may do a restock shortly after this video. Who knows? But you can also get a budget version with G10 and everything's the same. It's just 14C28N and G10 instead of carbon fiber and S35. And the budget version is like $59, which is stupid good. Stupid good. Excellent crossbar lock action. Very fidgety, very fun. And just a really nice knife for a knife this small to feel this good is very impressive. And it also has a very high fidget factor. That is why the Vosteed Nightshade is one of my all-time favorite 5th pocket knives. And we have reached the top 3, and it's time to talk CJRB again with this guy right here, the Mini Pyrite. Now, I thought honestly, when I started to put this list together, I really thought this Mini Pyrite was going to be number 1 for me. But there was just 2 I had to put in front of it. I couldn't get around it. But number 3 is still a really high spot for a knife that hasn't been around that long. And it's really because of what you just saw there. This middle finger flicking action is phenomenal. It is so good, so fidgety, so addictive. The detent on this, nice and firm and crisp detent. Excellent action. This marbled carbon fiber is a thing of beauty. You have a nice deep carry clip. an incredible blade shape for a small knife. I love the aggression of this, the point of the tip of this knife. It's a little more forward, so like a drop point, it's not back quite as far. The choil on this is a little smaller. I wouldn't call this a full finger choil. You kind of got to watch that. That's the only thing about this knife that isn't perfect. I would like to see a wider finger choil, but then you'd lose a little sharpened edge. So I don't know. I do like it the way it is. I don't think I would make that choil any wider. I'd maybe do something here to maybe make this a little wider on the carbon fiber, but it doesn't matter. Regardless, I mean, the Mini Pyrite is an absolute banger, and for $50, I'm pretty sure this is a $50 knife. There's nothing to pick apart on it outside of that little choil that I mentioned. But yeah, I love this design. I love everything about it. The Mini Pyrite is incredible, and there's also a lot of versions of it. There's this version right here, the spray paint version, and then of course you can get just some other handle colors out of aluminum. I believe these are both aluminum. Yeah, I think this is aluminum. It might, yeah, pretty sure. Aluminum or steel, one of the two. Coated, so yeah, you got all sorts of color options there. Obviously, I gotta say I prefer the marbled carbon fiber just because it's such a nice type and finish on the marbled carbon fiber. No flaws, very mesmerizing, and it's just, yeah, it's a very affordable knife that I think looks rather expensive. So excellent little offering here from CJRB. The Mini Pyrite coming in at number 3. Number 2, this guy right here, the Civivi Baby Banter. Now there's actually 2 versions. You have the newer Wharncliffe here, and then you have the regular drop point version here. So for me personally, I would go the Wharncliffe version. I think this blade shape, like I've said before for other knives, I really love the Wharncliffe blade shape for a small 5th pocket knife. You don't have a lot of sharpened edge, so it just makes that edge, every bit of it, usable. But it's a really good looking blade. Excellent like black burlap micarta. You don't see a lot of that from Civivi, and they did a really good job on this. Nice deep carry clip and ergos that are just, oh my gosh. So this knife is not totally number 1, as you know, it's number 2. But in terms of ergos, it might be number 1. I think it is probably number 1 just in terms of ergos, but the knife you're about to see, I do think edges it out by just a hair for a few other reasons that I will point out when I bring it up. But the Baby Banter is just so damn good. So many people already have one. Razor thin, slicey blade, whether you get the Wharncliffe or the drop point. Both of these blades are little laser beams. Yeah, Ben Peterson did such a good job on this design, and yeah, it's one that I can tell you guys right now, it's never going to leave my 5th pocket list because it's just truly one of the best 5th pocket knives ever. Very smooth action too, even on the close. Very nice to middle finger flick. Just so enjoyable. The Baby Banter is an absolute home run banger of a 5th pocket knife, especially in that budget range. Definitely one of the best knives you can consider if you're looking for a 5th pocket knife. And then we come to the best. And this is going to surprise some people. I think very few, if any, people would predict what this knife coming in at number 1 is. And it's the Divo Nip. Did you guys forget about the Nip? You may have, because it actually sold out rather quick, at least this version. Last I checked, I believe there was still a titanium version available of White Mountain Knives. I want to say that's like $150. This is not a cheap knife in terms of cost. This is one of the most expensive knives on the list. I believe probably the 2nd or 3rd most expensive knife. But man, oh man, look at this thing. I mean, first of all, we got a hollow grind blade that is ridiculously thin and slicey. Excellent blade shape. S90V steel. Some incredible marbled carbon fiber. Yeah, it's a winner chicken dinner. The clip back here is very nice. Now, you're going to have more of this sticking out of the pocket, so some people may not like that. I personally don't care that much. I used to care more than I do now, but when you get a knife this good with this action, after I botched the flip, it's just very smooth. The middle finger flick, it's incredible. Very fidgety, very fun. crazy slicey. The one thing I would like to see with this Divo Nip is a budget version, because as of right now, there's not a budget version. So I'll probably be getting on Instagram after I make this video and being like, hey, Kevin Collin over at Divo Knives, you should make a budget version of the Nip. And they probably already are, because they know what they're doing. I mean, they designed this. So they're doing a lot of things right over there at Divo Knives, and I'm willing to bet there's probably a budget version in the works. And if there's not, there should be, because I think this is a small knife that so many people would love, and it sold out quick. I mean, these were, you know, 150, 170 bucks. And they still sold out, even being a small knife like this. So that says a lot about the design and just the desirability of the knife. But yeah, the ergos are fantastic. They're probably just like, this is probably like a 9.5 out of 10, as to where the Baby Banter is a 10 out of 10. But the only reason that really put this ahead of the Baby Banter for me was the cutout, which makes for excellent action. The hollow grind, which I really, really like. And I do love, I think I do like this blade shape a little more than either one of the Baby Banters. And this flipper, it's always nice to have a flipper, because so many people struggle with thumb studs. A lot of people don't like to middle finger flick. So a flipper is just a really safe deployment option to make a knife that everyone would like. And they did such a good job with this one. I really hope to see a lot more, because it is just fantastic. And that is it, guys. The Divo Nip, the new #1 in the best fifth pocket knives of all time. And yeah, that's it. Let's bring the top 3 back out here, just to have a quick little recap here of the top 3. Let me know what you guys think of this top 3. And yeah, I really enjoyed bringing this one to you guys. Let me know which one I missed. If there's a fifth pocket knife that you really enjoy that you didn't see on the list, tell me which one and why you like it. Other than that, let me know what you think of the list. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.